Classification and Deception. Commander Maya Chen stood motionless on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, Earth's flagship and the pride of the newly formed Stellar Defense Fleet, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic projection hovering before her. 7 alien figures, each representing a dominant species from the Galactic Assembly, sat in a semicircle. The aliens varied dramatically in appearance, from the vaporous Voidborn to the insectoid Trizidae, but all radiated the same unmistakable air of superiority. "The Assembly has reached its decision," announced Grand Arbiter Nexus, a Voidborn whose swirling, nebulous form filled the center of the projection. "After evaluating humanity's technological development, social structure, and resource management capabilities, we hereby classify humanity as a Category 4 developing species." Maya's jaw tightened, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. This classification was nothing short of an insult. Earth would now be subject to resource quotas, restricted from independent colonial expansion, and required to provide tributes to superior species. Humanity's rapid advancement from planetary civilization to interstellar travelers in just 3 centuries had evidently unsettled the established galactic order. "The Assembly expects Earth to begin compliance protocols within 20 standard cycles," continued Nexus, tendrils of cosmic energy flowing through his ethereal form. "Resistance is inadvisable and would result in immediate corrective measures." When the transmission ended, the bridge erupted with outrage. "They can't just demote an entire species," shouted Lieutenant Rivera at the communications station. "We've done nothing to warrant this." Maya raised her hand for silence. "Send an immediate message to the United Earth Government. Market Priority Alpha. We need an emergency summit." 48 hours later, Maya sat in the UEG's underground headquarters beneath New Geneva. The room contained Earth's most influential leaders, military commanders, scientists, elected officials, and diplomatic corps. The atmosphere crackled with tension. Admiral James Okonkwo, head of Earth's Stellar Defense Fleet, stood at the center of the room. "The Galactic Assembly's decision is final through conventional channels. Their hierarchy has remained unchanged for millennia. To them, we're unpredictable upstarts potentially destabilizing their power structure. So we simply accept being classified as inferior?" asked the African Federation president, her voice tight with controlled anger. "No," said Admiral Okonkwo with surprising calmness. "We appear to comply while executing Operation Phantom." Dr. Layla Patel, Earth's leading genotechnologist, stepped forward. Her small frame belied her commanding presence. "The Assembly species have a critical weakness," she explained. "They've evolved in a stable galactic environment where change happens gradually. Their technology, while advanced, has developed along predictable paths. They literally cannot conceptualize how a primitive species might approach problems differently." In simpler terms, Maya added, "They'll underestimate us because they can't imagine solutions outside their established paradigms." The plan that emerged was audacious in its simplicity. Earth would outwardly accept its subordinate status while secretly preparing a demonstration of humanity's unique capabilities. Every restriction would become an opportunity. Every humiliation would fuel their resolve. Within weeks, the Voidborn Oversight Fleet arrived in Earth orbit. Their vessels resembled cosmic nebulae contained within transparent shells, beautiful yet intimidating in their alien perfection. Ambassador Zephyr, a lesser Voidborn whose form shimmered with stellar energies, delivered the Assembly's expectations. Earth will relinquish 40% of its space fleet, provide quarterly resource tributes, and accept Assembly inspectors at all major facilities, Zephyr announced in the UEG's Grand Hall. Furthermore, human expansion beyond your current colonial holdings is prohibited until reassessment, which may occur in approximately 300 standard years. UEG President Alina Reyes bowed her head in apparent acceptance. "Humanity acknowledges the Assembly's wisdom and authority. We will comply with all directives." Zephyr's form pulsed with satisfaction. Submission from newly classified species typically involved more resistance, What the assembly didn't realize was that Earth's compliance masked an unprecedented mobilization. In underground facilities, abandoned mining outposts, and shadowy regions of the solar system, humanity was quietly preparing. Dr. Patel led a team analyzing the minimal assembly technology humans were permitted to interact with. "Look at how they approach computational systems," she told her colleagues while examining a void-borne data node. "They've mastered incredible processing power, but they've done it through absolute standardization. There's no redundancy, no adaptation for unexpected inputs." In a secret facility beneath the Martian South Pole, Commander Tariq Hassan oversaw what appeared to be the decommissioning of Earth's most advanced warships to meet the 40% fleet reduction mandate. In reality, the ships were being stripped of identifying markers and enhanced with experimental technology before being hidden in the scattered debris fields of the Kuiper Belt. "The assembly expects us to surrender our newest vessels," Tariq told his engineers. "Instead, we're giving them our outdated models while concealing our true capabilities." Maya Chen, now serving as the liaison between Earth's apparent compliance efforts and the secret resistance, developed a coded communication system embedded within standard diplomatic transmissions. Every formal message of cooperation sent to the assembly contained hidden directives for Earth's covered operations. 3 months into Earth's subordination, the assembly's monitoring showed a model transition. Humans worked diligently at assigned tasks, provided resources on schedule, and showed appropriate deference to assembly representatives. Voidborne reports consistently described humans as adaptable but predictable and accepting of their natural place in the galactic hierarchy. This assessment delighted the assembly. Grand Arbiter Nexus personally commended Ambassador Zephyr for the efficient integration of humanity. "Their quick acceptance proves the wisdom of our classification." Some had concerns about their unpredictable nature, but they clearly recognized superior authority when confronted with it. Meanwhile, in laboratories across Earth's territories, scientists were making discoveries that would have alarmed the assembly deeply. Dr. Patel's team had identified a fundamental flaw in assembly technology. Their universal command protocols contained exploitable patterns that the aliens had never thought to secure, believing the system's complexity was protection enough. "They've used the same basic framework for thousands of years," Dr. Patel explained to Maya during a secure briefing. "To them, it's like a natural law, immutable and absolute. But we found we can insert phantom data streams that their systems interpret as routine traffic while carrying our own information." Maya smiled. "Can we use this to access their secure networks?" "Better," replied Patel. "We can send commands their systems will recognize as legitimate. We're developing an interface now." 6 months into subordination, the assembly increased Earth's resource quotas without warning. Commander Astral, a void-borne inspector, arrived at the primary processing facility in Australia to inform the human operators. "The assembly requires an additional 25% output, effective immediately," Astral announced, his cosmic form swirling with authoritative energy patterns. Facility Director Hiroshi Tanaka bowed in apparent submission. "We will adjust our production schedules accordingly, honored Inspector." Once Astral departed, Hiroshi activated a secure communication channel to Maya. "They're pushing harder than anticipated. Are we ready to proceed?" "Not yet," Maya replied. "Continue compliance, but implement Protocol Wraith." Protocol Wraith was a subtle form of resistance. The quality of resource shipments began to vary inexplicably. Some contained exactly what was required. Others had minute impurities that caused processing issues in assembly facilities. Never enough to trigger accusations of sabotage, but sufficient to create inefficiencies that required constant adjustment from assembly technicians. The Voidborne, perplexed by these inconsistencies, increased their presence at human facilities. This was exactly what Earth's leadership had hoped for: more exposure to assembly technology and operational procedures. 9 months into subordination, an assembly scientific expedition arrived to study Saturn's atmospheric anomalies. Their research vessel, the Cosmic Harmony, represented technology far beyond what humans were permitted to develop. Maya, now serving as Earth's official liaison to assembly scientific missions, welcomed the alien researchers with appropriate deference. "We are honored by your presence," she told the lead scientist, a voidborn named Lumina. "Human observation posts around Saturn have been instructed to provide any assistance you require." Lumina's ethereal structure shimmered with intellectual curiosity. "Your species' enthusiasm for learning is admirable, Commander Chen, even if your methods are primitive by assembly standards." Maya lowered her eyes respectfully while internally cataloging every aspect of the cosmic harmony's visible systems. Her neural implant, technology the assembly didn't know humans possessed, was recording everything for analysis by Dr. Patel's team. As Earth approached the one-year mark of its subordination, preparations for Operation Phantom reached their final stage. Hidden shipyards in the asteroid belt had constructed vessels unlike anything the assembly had encountered, hybrid designs that combined assembly principles with uniquely human innovations. The communication exploit had been refined to allow limited control over assembly automated systems. Most importantly, Earth had developed a technology the assembly had never considered possible: adaptive shielding that could reconfigure in response to weapon impacts. Admiral Okonkwo convened the final planning session with Maya, Dr. Patel, and Commander Hassan. "The assembly believes we accepted our place," he said. "They see our compliance as confirmation of their superiority. They don't realize that humans have never in our history simply accepted subjugation. Are we ready to show them what humanity is truly capable of?" Maya nodded. "Operation Phantom is ready for activation. Then let's introduce the galaxy to the real humanity," said Admiral Okonkwo, "and show the assembly why they should have never underestimated us." Revelation and triumph. The Voidborn command vessel, Eternal Void, entered Earth orbit unannounced, its sudden appearance triggering alert protocols across the planet. The massive ship resembled a contained black hole surrounded by swirling cosmic energies. Beautiful, terrifying, and utterly alien. Earth's official response remained measured and deferential. Grand Executor Void, the most senior Voidborn military leader ever to visit the Sol system, demanded an immediate audience with Earth's leadership. Maya Chen, now serving as Earth's official representative to assembly delegations, greeted Void in the orbital diplomatic station with appropriate subordinate protocols. "Honored Grand Executor, Earth welcomes your presence. How may we serve the assembly?" Void's nebulous form pulsed with cold energy patterns the human translators recognized as displeasure. "The assembly has determined that Earth's resource contributions are insufficient. Effective immediately, all quotas will increase by 60%. Additionally, the assembly requires 15,000 human laborers for mining operations in the Antares sector." Maya maintained her diplomatic composure despite the outrageous demands. "These new requirements represent a significant adjustment to our current capabilities. Perhaps we could discuss a phased implementation." "The decision is final." Void's form darkened ominously. "Furthermore, we have detected anomalous energy signatures in the asteroid belt. Assembly inspectors will conduct a thorough investigation of all human territories within the solar system, beginning immediately." This was the moment Earth had been preparing for. The assembly had finally overreached, threatening to discover humanity's secret preparations before they were fully ready. "Of course, Grand Executor," Maya replied calmly. "Earth will cooperate fully with the investigation." As Void departed, Maya activated her neural implant and sent a single coded message to Admiral Okonkwo: "Initiate Operation Phantom. Priority Alpha." Throughout the solar system, hidden human assets sprang into action. Dr. Patel's team activated the command protocol exploit they had been developing. Within minutes, assembly automated systems began receiving phantom data streams that appeared as routine communications but contained specialized commands. On the Eternal Void, the Voidborn crew experienced inexplicable system fluctuations. Navigation sensors reported conflicting data. Communication arrays detected phantom signals. Power distribution networks showed unexpected efficiency drops. "What is happening?" demanded Grand Executor Void as his ship's systems behaved erratically. "Unknown, Executor," replied his second-in-command. "We are experiencing multiple system anomalies. They appear to be internal malfunctions." "Impossible." Void's form darkened further. "Our systems do not malfunction. This must be external interference." Before the Voidborn could identify the source of the disruptions, humanity revealed its hand. From hidden locations throughout the asteroid belt, Earth's secret fleet emerged, 30 vessels of hybrid design, incorporating both human innovation and adapted assembly technology. Admiral Okonkwo's voice transmitted across all frequencies. "This is Admiral James Okonkwo of the United Earth Forces to the Galactic Assembly. For 1 year, humanity has endured classification as inferior. Today, we demonstrate why that assessment was profoundly mistaken." The human fleet surrounded the eternal void, not firing weapons, but demonstrating maneuvers impossible by assembly tactical doctrine. The ships moved in unpredictable patterns, utilizing propulsion techniques that combined assembly gravity manipulation with fusion pulse technology uniquely developed by humans. On the diplomatic station, Maya addressed Grand Executor Void directly. "Your systems are experiencing our first demonstration. We call it Protocol Ghost, a method of data insertion your designers never considered possible because it works contrary to established assembly programming principles." For the first time, the Grand Executor's confident demeanor faltered. "This is impossible. Category 4 species cannot develop such capabilities." "That's precisely the problem with your classification system," Maya replied. "It assumes all species develop along the same technological path at the same rate. Humans don't. We innovate laterally, finding solutions your civilization would never consider because you're constrained by millennia of standardized thinking." Throughout the solar system, assembly inspection vessels suddenly found themselves unable to access critical systems. Dr. Patel's exploit had locked out command functions, leaving the ships operational but unable to engage weapons or long-range communications. "We have not destroyed or permanently disabled any assembly technology," Maya continued. "We simply demonstrated that your superior systems have vulnerabilities that a supposedly inferior species could identify and exploit in less than 1 Earth year." The Voidborn commander's nebulous form contracted in what humans now recognized as shock. "The Assembly will view this as an act of war." "No," Maya countered. "It's a negotiation tactic. If we wanted war, we could have exploited these vulnerabilities destructively. Instead, we're offering a demonstration and a choice." From Earth, President Reyes opened a direct channel to the Galactic Assembly. "We reject classification as a Category 4 species, not because we believe we are superior, but because your classification system is fundamentally flawed. It measures advancement along a single technological path and fails to recognize diverse approaches to innovation." In the asteroid belt, the human fleet continued its demonstration. Ships phased in and out of standard detection frequencies, utilizing technology reverse-engineered from assembly systems, but implemented in ways the aliens had never considered. "Your classification system assumes technological development follows a linear path," Admiral Okonkwo explained as the assembly leadership watched in shock. "Humans excel at lateral thinking, finding unconventional solutions to problems. Where your civilization values perfection and standardization, we value adaptation and diversity of approach." For 3 tense hours, Earth's demonstration continued. Human ships executed maneuvers that assembly tactical analysts had deemed theoretically impossible. Dr. Patel's team displayed their mastery of assembly communication protocols by creating and dissolving phantom fleet signatures throughout the solar system. Finally, Grand Arbiter Nexus himself appeared via holographic projection. "The Assembly requests cessation of these demonstrations and offers diplomatic parley." President Reyes stepped forward. The assembly must acknowledge that its classification system is fundamentally flawed and agree to establish a new framework that recognizes diverse paths of development. After intense negotiation, the Galactic Assembly reluctantly agreed to revise its species classification system. The new framework would recognize multiple paths of technological and social development, rather than measuring all species against the historically established pattern of the founding assembly members. Humanity received a special designation, Divergent Innovator Species, acknowledgement that while humans might not match the Assembly's raw technological advancement in some areas, their lateral thinking and adaptive problem-solving represented a valuable and unpredictable form of intelligence. 6 months later, Maya Chen stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus once again. This time, she wasn't receiving humiliating news from the Assembly, but preparing to attend the first meeting of the newly formed Galactic Cooperative, a more equitable organization that had replaced the hierarchical assembly structure. Dr. Patel joined her on the bridge. "You know what's most remarkable?" she said. "The Voidborn are actually implementing some of our improvised solutions in their own systems. They're learning from us." Maya smiled. "That's the difference between their civilization and ours. They perfected a single path of development. We constantly explore multiple paths simultaneously, even when some lead to dead ends." "Is that why they underestimated us?" asked a young lieutenant. "Precisely," Maya replied. "They couldn't imagine how a primitive species could threaten them, because they couldn't conceive of alternative approaches to the problems they'd solved millennia ago." As the Prometheus departed Earth orbit, headed for the inaugural meeting of the Galactic Cooperative, Maya reflected on humanity's journey. In just 18 months, humans had gone from a classified, inferior species to respected members of the galactic community, not through overwhelming military might, but through innovation, adaptation, and the uniquely human gift for finding unexpected solutions. The stars beckoned, and humanity would answer on its own terms, recognized at last for its true potential.